Hello everybody, off the cuff video about a conversation I had with a friend of mine who's invested and has bought, him and his brother have bought a lot of properties over the years or decades, and it turns out that was a good decision. But I had a conversation about, does anyone, well, this is how it started. Okay, he says he's got a house that is in Avalon, which is Northern Beaches here in Sydney. So it's expensive, it's sought after, it's overrated, overpriced, in my opinion, but then everything is, so that means nothing. So to be fair to Northern Beaches in Sydney, it's fine, it's just freaking expensive. So he said the agent came up to him and told him, look, 2.5 million, and he said, no way. And then it didn't take very long for the agent to come back. I've got a buyer, it's 2.75. Now he's not selling it, but it's a big block of land, and the people are interested, I can get you a good deal. Fair enough, that's what agents do. So he says, no way, to 2.75, so $2,750,000, no way. So I said, what would you accept? I mean, if they can. He said, I need to see a 3 in front of it. So this is how the prices in Sydney are determined. It's like, just need to see a 3 in front of it. I said, but why? Obviously, they get more money, but why would you sell then? Because you weren't planning on selling anyway. What would you do with the money? He said, well, I would probably buy something closer to the city and buy another smaller thing up here in the Northern Beaches because I like it. So, I'd turn it into 2 properties. I said, what about, he said, another problem is why I need to sell it for 3+ million is the capital gains tax. I said, but aren't you actually, isn't that your primary place of residence as far as, officially, because he's got a couple of places. And he said, yeah, it is, but, so I said, but you're living there, so there's no capital gains. He goes, no. It was, that's another misconception, is that, and it's a myth, that you can be renting a place out to someone for, to tenants for 10 years and then move into it for a year or 2 or so, and then avoid paying capital gains. He says, no, it's pro rata, it's proportional. So if you've rented it for 9 years, and then lived in it for 1 year, then you're going to pay capital gains on the gains that are somehow calculated for those 9 years, and avoid paying whatever gain happened in the last year or something like that. In any case, the longer you live in it, the more you dilute the capital gain kind of portion of it, unless since you moved in it, there was no capital gain, in which case, back of the napkin calculation, in my eyes, you're going to have to pay for all the capital gain that happened during the time when you rented it out. So there's no escaping. So that's why I said that. So I thought, well, all right. So given that, this is why people want a lot of money for their place, especially if they have invested and they're looking to sell. And I said, but on another thought, I don't think people actually sell houses, properties, investment properties, because they have to pay this crazy capital gains tax. So the only people, he goes, that's correct. I said, okay, so, think with me here. So because there are places for sale out there, so who sells it? So in my opinion, it's people who are living in houses. Surprise, surprise, there are people who bought houses to live in them, which is, right, needless to say, the only reason and way houses should be bought and sold, in my opinion. But anyway, so they're living in it, so they want to upsize, downsize, they want to move. The only thing that they're losing is kind of a stamp duty, because if they sell it there, they don't pay any tax. They go somewhere else, they pay stamp duty. So you're down about, say, 4%, which is nothing, especially given that on $1 million it's 40. I think it's more. It's like $40,000-$50,000. Just you've thrown it away just for the privilege of upsizing or downsizing or moving somewhere. People have to move, family, circumstances change, got a new job, totally. So that's the only way. So I said, there are people who invest, they don't sell. He goes, not really, exactly, correct. I said, well, so how do you actually make money? How did you, whatever you paid for it so many years ago, and now you even if you sell it, you actually lost money if you're going to go and buy another property, because you pay capital gains tax, and then you buy 2 of those other properties that you say to buy, who, by the way, also went up, and you have to pay stamp duty on them, and the old property you pay, I think I'm repeating myself, but there's so many fees here. So capital gains on the one you're selling, and 2 stamp duties for the new one that you're buying, new ones that you're buying. So which by the way went up pretty much on average as much as yours has. So you lost money with this transaction. And that brings me to something I was talking to my cousin about, who also has many of these investment properties. His father was buying them since the Second World War. After the Second World War, he was buying them like you wouldn't believe, and he's got many, and he says, I just can't sell it. I sell it, I'm paying hundreds of thousands, like $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 tax bill. I mean, yes, but you made money, but you didn't. If you're going to use the proceeds of that sale to buy another property, you actually lost money because you made that capital gain event selling it, and then you're buying it, and you have to pay stamp duty. I am repeating myself again, but this is over and over and over story that you keep seeing that is unescapable. So, which again brings us to a point that I would have mentioned many times in between different kind of videos, that I don't see the value unless he sells it now, he gets his $3 million, and he says, you know what, stock market is going to boom, or I'm going to buy gold, silver, part of it at least, some of it, big part of it, or portion of all of the other assets that you definitely actually don't have to pay much of a transactional fee. So, you know, you buy stock up to $10,000, and Comsec is $19.95. So more than that is like double that. But percentage wise, it's nowhere near as much of an outlay to invest money somewhere. To buy bullion, pretty much you're paying, depends how much you're buying, but you're paying spot plus a couple of percent above it. Depends, you know, again, how much you're buying. But you got the tangible asset. You don't need to get a loan, and you wait. And if that's what you think is going to boom next, maybe there's an opportunity there to make money that way. But again, if you're just going to sell it and buy something else, or not know what to do with your money, stick it in the bank. Which, by the way, I'm going to create a video on best interest rate online saver accounts in Australia. So because I've been looking into it, and there are some, it's not crash hot interest rates as we know at the moment, but you can get, you know, 2+% on some of these, which is not too bad. And yeah, so I'll do that. So, but that's still not a good thing. You know, you got $3 million and you're going to put it in the bank to get 2%. It's kind of dead money, and everyone's talking about the bail-ins and that. So you think, oh, well, what have I just done? I've paid the all this stamp duty, the capital gains, and I put this money in the bank, and what now? So it's not easy. When you say somebody made money, I say, show me how you made money. You know, did you sell it? Show me the numbers. And I just don't see it. One important thing we kind of failed to mention is that if that makes you feel good, the perception of you buying that property for $250,000 2 decades ago and now being worth $3 million, you feel like you've done a good job. You feel like you've saved the purchasing power of their money, fair enough, but you're kind of stuck with it. You don't know what to do with it. So if anyone can kind of think about the scenario where I haven't explored it, put it in the comment section. Otherwise, thanks for watching once again, and we'll catch up many times in 2020 and beyond. Thanks, bye.